I'm mad, Michelle.
I think I know why, but tell me
You
anyway.
tell me why I'm mad.
Because your Dawn of the Dead something edition isn't here yet, and it won't be for another week.
Yes, I'm one of the many horror nerds who bought the Dawn of the Dead UHD 4K release from England. So, well, okay, so first of all, it should be mentioned that in America, Dawn of the Dead has been in and out of print a lot. And Dawn of the Dead is one of my all-time favorite movies. Not one of my all-time favorite horror movies, one of my all-time favorite movies, just period. So it was on Blu-ray for literally like 5 years, which is not very long, and now it's horribly out of print. I have one of the Blu-rays, but and it wasn't even like the Blu-ray of all the versions. It was only the theatrical cut. So overseas, on the other hand, they have better luck with the rights because they're different. They're handled differently in different countries. Well, I'm trying to like make this make sense for people who are already bored by what I'm talking about. When you buy a DVD, generally they're region coded to a particular region of the world, and that's in order to protect distributors and stuff like that from piracy. So, you know, if a movie's not available in the United States, it's like, well, you're not supposed to be able to watch the United Kingdom DVD. That's the whole point. But for some reason, I don't know why. I don't know if there's like a real reason or not. But they just did. There are no region locks on Universal HD or UHD, not Universal Ultra HD 4K Blu-rays. They just don't have it.
Interesting. Wow.
So people can buy UHD releases from Germany and United Kingdom, and I'm just. Well, I was about to just list more places that aren't America. Like
Just
that's very helpful.
no, everybody needs to know what they are.
Here are all the places that are not the United States. But so I actually already bought a Blu-ray set of Dawn of the Dead from Italy. But it wasn't it was more because I'm a collector. I wasn't really gonna watch it because it wasn't UHD anyway. I have to use a special player. And that's the other thing. Sometimes Blu-rays come out and then all the nerds get together and we're like, hey, so I bought that. It's not really region locked. For some reason, they forgot to put the region locking on. That happens all the time.
Wow.
Especially in Australia, a lot of Australian Blu-ray releases, everybody will start talking to be like, dude, that Australian release that you can order via Amazon, it's not region locked. It says it is, but it's not.
Wow.
So, and of course, you can also buy a player that plays all region. They're just
Mm-hmm.
expensive. So anyway, but this is the ultimate Dawn of the Dead. It has all of the versions of the known versions, which is the extended version, the European version, and the theatrical version in 4K, as well as a disc of extras, which I won't be able to watch because they'll be in Region B on regular Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. I have a plan. I have a plan. No, but I'm excited because these are the transfers that were, they were approved by the director of photography of the film Dawn of the Dead, and yada yada yada. So, but anyway, it's coming out, or it just came out in England, and I bought it. So my cousin, who I hate, no, he's a horror fan. He just sent me a text of the picture of it because what he did apparently, so. And it got kind of embargoed. The word started spreading that Americans in mass were buying this release, but they're not supposed to be able to, but they are. So, so some of the companies that were going to sell it got shut down. Basically, they were like, okay, we can't sell
Oh.
it. Mostly American companies. So a few did not, but several did. So my cousin, because he's crazy and he loves these movies so much, he used one of those services, which I'm sure you're familiar with because weebs use these services all the time. A service where you buy something from Amazon and ship it to a place, and then they ship it to you in another country, which is
No, I don't know about that actually.
that's very popular in Japan for Japan stuff. But
Okay, good to know.
because it's too creepy to send directly to America, I guess. Everything about Japan is too creepy, I guess. No, but yeah, so he already has his, and no one else I know has theirs because I think that they all generally ordered it a traditional way, and I ordered it from a mom and pop Blu-ray place, which I know they'll deliver it. It's just whenever they get it, they'll then send it to me. So I'm a little
Yeah.
jealous that he has it, even though I don't even have time to watch it if I wanted to.
But Yeah, but I understand. It'd just be nice to be able to hold it, you know?
Yeah. So I hope you're happy. I'm drinking hot tea.
Oh, me too.
I know you're drinking. I know, Michelle. Thank you for enlightening me to your drinking hot tea. I'm shocked.
I could have been, I don't know, drinking, I don't know. That's it. That's all I
You're
have.
like, I could have been drinking warm water, but without tea in it.
Mm-hmm. That's not what I do.
um, Ever since we had that episode about deal breakers, and you mentioned and the electric kettle was mentioned, I bought an electric kettle.
Mm-hmm.
My God, it can boil that water in like a minute.
It takes longer than a minute.
Barely.
It takes the whole time that when I make the when it hasn't been on, when you have cold water in it in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
it takes longer obviously than room temperature water. So it takes about
Whoa, this is heavy science.
it it takes like I put it on and then I make Gigs breakfast. And
What
then
does Gigs usually have? Is it like eggs Benedict or
yeah,
like
sometimes she has cereal. She really likes cereal, but yeah. I make her breakfast and then I put whatever I'm going to eat in the toaster. And that usually goes for about 3 minutes. And then your glass is fogged up.
it's because it's hot. I just like that you're like, and then I put whatever I'm gonna eat in the toaster. I just imagine like, like soup. You're just pouring like a can of soup or like Chef Boyardee.
Oh, I don't eat Chef Boyardee.
Or,
But
or
maybe
just
some.
or just sticking a brick of ramen in it and pushing it down.
That would be really good, actually. Like
Toasted
slightly
ramen.
toasted ramen.
But it can't take more than 2 minutes because it's always done so fast.
It is done really fast. I mean, it's done much, much faster than if you were to put water on a stove.
Yes.
And it's more precise than if you're just like, I just use my microwave to warm up water.
Yeah, but
Which
then you end up
is,
with this incredibly hot cup. What do you do with that?
yeah, I don't know. But also, what if you superheat it and then it explodes out like it could do? So,
I mean, it can. You're right. So, but no, I'm drinking hot tea, and I know that makes you so happy.
it does.
And
Sorry.
um, I guess I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I am almost certain that this is our 1 year anniversary.
Oh no.
This has got to be the 1 year. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
I think I'm right. So we've been doing this podcast for like a year.
Yeah.
That's what you have to say?
Yeah. I
That's
don't know.
Well, how has it enriched your life?
I don't know.
Thanks.
It means that every other week on Wednesday I do this in the afternoon instead of the other thing that I would be doing that
What's
I
the
don't
other
know.
thing that you would be
I don't
doing?
know. Something else.
Well, I guess I'll take that as a ringing endorsement. Thanks.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
um, I will say, I feel bad for our podcast because it really didn't get a fair shake. It didn't even get a full half a year before COVID-19.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we had we've had more during COVID episodes than pre-COVID episodes, which is just not fair. It's not
It's not.
fair. There's just a heaviness that exists that I wish did not.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, but I appreciate the people there aren't a ton of you, but I appreciate those of you who are listening to this every Monday. I do get the messages from people who are like, I look forward to this on Monday when I go to work and stuff like that, because it publishes at midnight on Mondays, or which is technically Sunday night.
Mhm.
So they get that way. I figured that way if somebody wants it, first thing in the morning, that it's ready.
Yeah, maybe I should start doing that with my comic, going to midnights.
That might be a good idea. I noticed that with podcasts in particular, some podcast apps take like 2 hours to refresh your feed.
Mm,
So by putting it up at midnight, I guarantee that when people wake up in the morning, it'll be in their feed. As
yeah,
opposed to if I publish it at like 7 a.m., it might not be in their feed till they're already at work.
that's interesting. Yeah.
So I try to think things, not really. I was gonna say I try to think things through. That's a lie.
You just do think things through. You don't even
No,
try.
no. Trying is the first step to failure. You should know this.
Yeah.
Uh so I guess I'll talk about it here because where the hell else would I talk about it? I'm not like super public about it, but I am kind of going back to work in a way.
Hmm.
Finally, except that I didn't really stop working, but I did stop working. It's like, you know, imagine if you had a job and like one part of the job was like super fun and the other part was everything else I do. It was just those tedious stuff and clerical. And then imagine that COVID-19 happens and then you just stopped any of the fun parts and stuck to only the more difficult and clerical elements of your job. That's what it's been like. So I have like a combination of feeling like I haven't been at work or I've been away from work and also none of the rest.
Yeah.
None of the
Yeah.
sense of rest, I guess. So yeah, so and those who don't know, I can't imagine you wouldn't know, but I make movies for a living, feature movies. And it's been really hard because, and I know I touched base on this a couple weeks ago, but like there's a movie I really want to make and I can't. So, but if I don't make movies, then I can't live.
Hmm.
So so I gotta make movies. So I'm making a very small movie right now. On top of the found footage webcam movie, I'm making like a real narrative movie and we start shooting it. By the time you're listening to this, I will have hopefully already shot half of it. But we're starting shooting and it's weird because thanks to COVID and other things, but especially COVID, I haven't directed a feature movie in over a year.
Wow.
Because it would have only been 6 months because I would have started shooting in, I think, May. But
Mhm.
instead it's been almost a year or over a year. I can't remember
Well,
anymore.
I mean, doesn't the webcam found footage movie count as directing?
It does. And you know, it's such a weird thing. I like that style of movie. I really
Hmm.
do. I saw both of the Unfriended movies in the theater because I love them both. I like that style of movie, but it doesn't give me the same feeling as directing a movie where you have actors and lights and lenses, and it's just not the same exact feeling. I think that
Sure.
when the found footage webcam movie is done, which it's very close to done, being shot, and then it'll only take a few weeks to get it all cut together. I think that when it's complete, I will feel more like I made a movie. When you
Yeah.
know, but the creation of it just doesn't feel like the way making movies feels. Making movies is generally getting some people together and going to a place and eating sandwiches and like working really hard and your feet are sore but you're having a great time and like in between takes everybody's making each other laugh because some actors are really serious but some actors are really funny and the really serious actors half the time are the most appreciative of the funny people and and one of my favorite things about being a director is that I get to be I'm the captain of the ship, and if I notice that everybody's tired, I get to start cracking jokes because I'm the boss. No one can stop it. So I'll start telling, old off-color jokes that I remembered hearing in elementary school, and everyone starts laughing, and I feel good because we're all having an adventure together. I didn't have camp, I didn't have those things growing up. But this is like my camp. This is my fun. It's obviously my passion. I've dedicated my entire life to it, so
Yeah.
obviously I love it. Now it's hard because we're trying to be, and I'm not going to go into heavily what we're doing to be COVID safe because it's not of your concern, of anyone's concern, except the people who are on the set. But we are doing things to be safer. The number one thing is simply the being outdoors and having a very small cast and crew.
Mhm.
That's really the biggest one, because from everything I've researched, the smartest thing you can do is not be indoors and not be in a big crowd.
Mhm.
So that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's those are the main things. I mean, there are other shit too, but that's mainly what we're doing. And one of the reasons I'm not publicizing like crazy, hey, we're making a movie, is I don't want people to think that, you know, that we're going to be reckless and go back to business as usual. I'm not doing that. And I know people who are, not personally, but I know of people who are like just making movies again. And to me, even though it's my entire living, it's like, I mean, frankly, to me, I don't think even making like the Batman is worth risking getting people really sick. But I understand why somebody could make that argument, because those people are being paid very well and it's their livelihood, you know, and things like that. But with this, with, you know, a majority volunteer crew, and we're doing this because we love it and we want to have fun, their safety is even more important to me. You know, I can't have that attitude of like, they're being paid. You know, they're not always. Some of them are, but, you know, but no matter what, I mean, I can guarantee you nobody's being paid what they're worth. And that is not an insult. That is a compliment. The people I work with are worth so much, I could never afford them if they charged me a true market rate. So
Yeah.
the problem is I'm excited to go back out there and film, but I'm definitely, and I do this all the time, this is not new. I mean, it's just a little more extreme, but like I get scared and nervous that I'm not going to do a good job, or I don't know what I'm doing. And then I have to stop and be like, this is literally, if you don't count the movie that's nearly done, this is my 17th feature film as a director. 17th.
Yeah.
18th if you count the other one that's almost done.
Which I do, because that counts.
Well, then 18, that's a lot. I know that when I get there to set and I set up the camera and I put the lens on and I start talking to the actors, and I will start smiling because we're all there to do something we really love to do. And I love the script and I love the actors. I mean, I guess it's, you know, damning with false hope or praise, or praise, or what, it's not praise. I guess it's damning and false hope. But like, I got every single actor I wanted. Granted, there aren't a lot of acting jobs to do. Some people aren't working so much right now, and it was a very small cast, so everything was working in my favor to get everyone I wanted for the movie. But I did. I got first choices on every character.
Good.
And that's awesome. But we also did things to keep it smaller, like we cast our crew as the smaller roles. That way there's no, you know, that way 3 of the roles are also 3 crew people. So we literally avoided having to have 3 more people on set, because we're trying really hard to keep a limit to exposure. So yeah, so I'm going to show up, and I'm sure that it'll all kick in and I'll just start making it, because every job I've ever done in film that has been large, which I would call any feature is a large job. I always kind of wake up in the morning and go, I hope I can fucking do this. And then I show up and I just do it.
Yeah.
You say something.
Yeah, you can do it. Yeah. I was gonna say that I think it's probably wise not to just talk about it constantly on social media and all that stuff. Because I don't know what just happened, but because I think you're doing like what you feel like you need to do, and I think you're taking precautions, but I don't really want to normalize people just being like, I don't know, man, I'm just gonna do this. That's kind of how I feel about music as well.
Yeah.
This is not normalizing things being relatively normal. It's not probably a good idea.
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm definitely normalizing normal. That's good. That's good work. That's good talk. Good talk.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and that's, I don't want people to think we're just out, you know. This is it was a hard decision, but well, first of all, it wasn't just my decision. Once I decided I was comfortable, I had to ask all the people who usually collaborate with me if they were comfortable, and pretty much everybody was. I mean, and it's, you know, we're pretty far out from the start. of the epidemic, so we're not as clueless, like we know
Sure,
a little
yeah.
bit more, and that's for sure. I would not have tried to do this in even July, so
It's too bad actually, because it was safer in July.
and it depends on how you define safer,
Less spread.
or at least as far as we know.
I can tell you that the testing in my area has not increased, but the levels of people who are sick have increased. Because
Yeah,
I can
that's because
see.
you're all just like weak Pennsylvania people,
Oh yeah, we're totally weak.
No, I know what you're saying. I'm just saying, but like we're a little bit more aware in general, as to
Sure.
where people were saying drink really hot water and the virus will just go into your tummy. And
I don't think that boss guy likes me.
well, I'm glad you called bullshit. That's what's
But
important.
but like I think he's like holding a grudge now. So it's not great. But that's okay, because I had to make sure people that just didn't think they could just drink hot water and be okay.
Well, misinformation is bad. So,
Yeah.
but like if you looked at what we knew in like July versus now, there was a lot of focus that wasn't on things that seem to apply now. So, after all that time, that's why I was like, okay, we're doing a movie. It's outside. There aren't a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
These are wins, so
Yeah.
but yeah, so I don't want to normalize it a huge amount, so I'm not going to be like plastering pictures all over. Now I am, because I may as well disclose, like I am doing this movie for a production company. I mean, like this is so I can live. I'm doing this, as for my job. So, if they want to post pictures of us, publicity of us doing the movie, that's up to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll share it, but I'm not going to be like, hey, we're just, fucking doing it like it always was.
Yeah.
I will be, very adamant, because actually when I started talking with the company, they told me, they were like, we have, they were like, we halted production for about 2 months. And it was like, now any movies we're doing are in the middle of nowhere with almost nobody. So like,
Yeah.
they did one movie. I think they said it was like a 4-person crew and a 3-person cast. And it was in the middle of Montana, like in the wilderness of Montana. I was like, that's
Mm-hmm.
probably the safest place you could be.
Yeah.
So, we're not quite so in the middle of nowhere, but we're doing okay. So yeah, I'm excited to work. I'm nervous. Also because making movies the more things change, the more they stay the same. The 10-day weather forecast just changed, and now it's only predicted to rain on the days that we're filming, which aren't even continuous days. Like it's just like
Yeah.
rain and rain and rain and rain. So hopefully, I mean, it's November, so precipitation rates are down. So that should mean, I mean, so it's very unlikely we're gonna get like a day-long storm. We'll probably get showers at worst. They're not predicting any storms, they're only predicting showers.
That's good. That's good. Says you when I'm here and we're having rain all day right now.
We had rain yesterday here.
Yeah.
They
So.
predicted that.
Yes.
My point is they're predicting showers, they're not predicting storms.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we probably won't lose whole days of shooting. We'll probably only lose hours at most, maybe even not that much. The only real challenge right now is just daylight.
Mm-hmm.
And we get more than you have, but like it's really dark by 6 here.
Ooh, 6 o'clock.
But I mean, it's like too dark to film by 6. So I know you live in a world of perpetual darkness. I know. Screw you. I used to live further east than you.
No, not than where I lived growing up, I don't think.
That I don't know for sure.
I
I'd
think
have
we
to.
were probably
All right,
around
I'm
the
pulling
same.
up a map of New Jersey right now. You fuck. Map of fucking New Jersey. Enter. Wow, I like how that just gave completely normal results. Okay, so I'm looking at a map of fucking New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Okay, I have to remove fucking. It's giving me comedy maps of New Jersey.
Oh yeah, that's kind of what I thought it would do. Yeah.
Okay, here's a regular map of New Jersey. Okay, sorry. Wait, what county did I live in?
I don't know.
I lived in Passaic County.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay, so I see where I was. What county did you grow up in?
Middlesex County, but also right next to Mercer, like where they hit each other, basically.
Right next to Okay, I was definitely further east than you.
Okay, fine. Fine.
So I'm looking at a map right now. And yeah, you were a bit so no, but I just remember I worked a 9 to 5 when I lived in New Jersey, New Jersey. So I remember just like waking up and be like, oh, it's kind of dark, and then going into work and then leaving work and be like, oh, it's night now. It was like I work in a coal mine.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of days ago, right when we switched back to normal time, I was like, oh, after work, I'm going to go into the woods and I'm going to look for these mushrooms. And then I was driving home and I was like, no, it's getting dark. No. And this was at like 4. So,
Yeah, it gets dark really early. Um, so yeah. But so out here, I mean, it doesn't get that dark. But I remember like I was talking to a friend about when I shot a Western a few years back in the middle of summer, and we had like one night scene and we were standing around at like 10:30 waiting for it to be
mhm.
dark enough to film. So who thinks it's a good idea that it should be fucking pitch black by 5 or 6?
Me, I like it. It's good.
Why
It's
do you
good.
like it? There's no time for day.
I don't want any more day. I'm done. I just like I don't feel bad because the sun's going down, so I don't have to do things anymore.
I mean, well, you
And
have you have lights. You can drive places.
no, because it's dark. You don't drive places in the dark because there's scary things out there.
Huh. But yeah, so other than, the general anxiety that weather gives you when you're making a movie that's exterior, and there are 2 reasons. We did the whole movie's going to be all outside for COVID safety and for speed. The sun is your friend. It lights the movie and lets you work faster. So we'll get through it. It'll be fine. The worst part of my anxiety is never when I'm in the middle of the stressful thing. It is the
Mhm.
lead up.
Yeah.
I go crazy leading up to something big. I can literally, I mean, I've been on sets where literally everything is falling apart around me and I felt fine.
Mhm.
I mean, like, I was just like, okay, let's solve this. In fact, I like when it's like, I need a solution in 3 minutes. And I'm like, all right. So no time to waste. This. And they're like, I guess it'll have to work. And I'm like, yes. Like, that's kind of the world I like.
Good.
Um, but when it's like, okay, so on Saturday you're gonna have lots of problems to solve, and I don't know what any of them are yet. And you're like, okay, well, it's Wednesday, so I'll just eat a hamburger and feel sad. And that works for me. I mean, that's my method, I guess. But no, I'm looking forward to it though. I have found myself getting more excited as the days go by,
Good.
rather
I'm
than
glad.
more dreading or fearful or whatever. I just hope that if weather postpones anything, I just want to be done by Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
That's my whole
That's so
goal.
soon.
It is, but I mean, if we stay to our schedule, we'll be done the weekend before Thanksgiving.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's a little time. I mean, I won't, I'll even give it one better. What I mean by done by Thanksgiving really is I mean done by the end of November is what I really mean.
Okay.
I don't really mean done before the Thursday that we eat turkey. And by we, I mean like the 2 people that'll get to, I'm getting angry. So no, but no, I don't mean literally that Thursday, but I mean, yeah, I don't want this to leak into December.
Mhm.
I like to, with my job, as it gets colder, I like to not do much outside work wise. Because generally when you're working movies, wherever you are, you're there for 10 or 12 hours.
Yeah.
So like people really don't get that. They really don't get that. Like even as the director, it's super blue collar. It's like, all right, everybody, we're going to go, it's like, I used to work as a mover, and that was much more similar to making movies than when I worked at a television station. Because
Hmm.
at movers, it's like, all right, we're going to go to this place, and this is our work site for the day. That's exactly what making movies is like most of the time.
Mhm.
So it's like we have a work site, we pick a few spots to like, put our gear and stuff like that, and then we just get to work and hope that there's no rain.
Yeah.
Um, because it's very hard to work in the rain. The problem is, that's the worst part, rain and snow, especially snow, because people are like, well, snow's not that bad. And I'm like, but the problem is that the snow won't stay. It'll start snowing and you're like, man, this is beautiful. And you start filming the scene. And by the time you film the other side of the conversation, the snow's gone. And you're like, oh, well, fuck me then.
Yeah.
If we could have like a thing where the weather report would just be like, it's going to snow continuously for 9.5 hours, I would be like, yeah, time to go outside and film a movie. Like, this is going to be great. Because I mean, a little plastic on the camera would protect it from the snow. But no, it's because the snow will goddamn stop.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember on Boggy Creek, the series, one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie is this really, really wide shot of the two main characters walking slowly, somewhat toward the camera. But it's like a really wide shot, and we had radio mics on them, so they're loud and clear, and they did a whole dialogue scene in this one wide shot as I panned through the woods, but the snow was pouring down. And the reason I did that way is, number one, it was beautiful, but number two, because I wanted so bad just one cool shot with snow, or one cool scene with snow. So I was like, well, the only way I'm going to guarantee I get it is if it's all one shot, because then if the snow stops in the middle of the shot, that's still okay. Because then the rest of that episode, you like, there's occasionally snow, but that one scene we got snow.
Cool.
It was literally very cool. Also, the snow ruined a third of that day, and we couldn't shoot a third of what we needed to get.
Yeah, I feel like I remember that.
Yeah, I know you remember. You're like, I wish I could forget all the problems that television show was riddled with. So, yeah, but no, so I'm happy to get back in the saddle.
Good.
I am. I guess it's just hard because I want to get back in the saddle and do some very specific things, and I can't. And, you know, I don't want it to sound like, because this is not the way I feel. I don't want it to sound like I'm like, oh, man, I got to go make this movie instead. Every movie I get to make that pays my bills is like a fucking, no, it's not like, it is a fucking dream come true. And I'm so grateful. I just wish that I could do things in the order I had planned. I dare say that COVID-19 has really messed with my plans. Not others, but definitely my plans.
Yeah, it hasn't messed with my plans at all. Just yours.
Just mine. I am the
yours.
only person whose plans have been thwarted by COVID-19.
Yeah. I'm sorry it had to be you, but I'm glad it wasn't me.